Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the workbook reading of Act 2, Scene 9, The Merchant of Venice. By the end of this video, you will be able to understand development of the plot, you will be able to explain critical commentary, and you will be able to explain character portrayal. Students, let us recapitulate what we have done in Act 2, Scene 8. In the previous video, we have read about two emotional situations. Firstly, when Shylock was affected by his losses of his daughter and of his jewels. Secondly, Salarino and Salario have observed that a Venetian ship has run around in the English Channel coast. They hope that the ship is not of Antonio, because in his present mood, Shylock is likely to take revenge. Students, let me just give you the crux of what we are going to study in Act 2, Scene 9. Students, in this scene, the Prince of Aragon at Belmont appears with his servants. He tries his luck and chooses the silver casket, which contains an idiot's head. Silver here stands for self-deception, vanity and conceit. Again, the scene revolves around valuation. The second act of the play concludes on a note of expectation. News is brought that Bassanio is coming to Belmont. So let's get started and read development of the plot. The Prince of Aragon is one of the leading suitors of Portia. He returns after taking his oath and is ready to choose one of the caskets. Portia shows him the caskets and tells him that if he chooses the right casket, that is the casket which contains her portrait, she will marry him at once and become his wife. But if he chooses the wrong casket, he will have to leave the place at once without uttering a word. Students, let's write the meanings onto your books with pen. Suitors means a man who pursues a relationship with a particular woman with a view to marriage. Oath means a solemn promise. Uttering means saying. Students, in this scene, the Prince of Aragon is introduced as another suitor who dares to take the risk of the lottery of the caskets. He promises Portia, if he chooses the wrong casket, he will leave quietly and will never reveal anyone which casket he chose. Let's read further. The prince tells Portia that he has taken the oath to observe three things. If he fails to choose the right casket, namely, not to tell anyone which casket he had chosen, not to marry any other woman, and not to stay for a moment at this place. Portia tells him that every suitor has to observe these three things. Students, here the Prince of Aragon tells Portia that he has taken the oath to abide by three conditions. Firstly, he will not tell anyone that which casket he has chosen. Secondly, if he fails to choose the right casket, he will not marry any other woman throughout his life. And lastly, he will leave the place at once if he makes the wrong choice. Portia here addresses him that every suitor who comes here to make a choice to marry her has to abide by these conditions. Let's read further. The Prince of Aragon approaches the leaden casket but rejects it at once. He then examines the inscription on the golden casket. He thinks that what many men desire to possess may not be desired by him, because he does not want to rank himself with the common people. Students, here Prince of Aragon begins with the leaden casket and rejects it at once, stating that it is not worth risking everything. He then approaches towards the golden casket and reads the inscription on that, which says, "Whosoever will choose it will get what many men desire." Students, here Prince of Aragon does not want to rank himself among the common people who desire to choose it. Now let's read further. He then turns towards the silver casket and reads the inscription which says, "Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves." The inscription appeals to him because he thinks that he deserves the hand of Portia in marriage. He then moralizes over the corruption in the world. Students, now Prince of Aragon turns towards the silver casket. He is impressed by the inscription which says, "Whosoever will choose it will get as much as he deserves." Now students, here Prince of Aragon is so proud to think that he deserves Portia's hand in marriage. But then he thinks about the corruption of the world. Let's read further. He says that the most undeserving people occupy high positions, whereas the most deserving people act as their subordinates. He then selects a silver casket. When he opens it, he finds in it the portrait of a blinking idiot, presenting a scroll, in which it is written that those who do not think carefully before taking any step in any matter are fooled in life. In the same way, the Prince of Aragon has been fooled. Student, write down the meanings first. Subordinates mean juniors. Scroll means a long roll of paper with usually official writing on it. Students, in these lines, Prince of Aragon says that the most undeserving people occupy high positions, whereas the most deserving people act as their subordinates. He then chooses the silver casket. But to his surprise, the silver casket has only a picture of a blinking idiot presenting a scroll. Students, here blinking idiot refers to the fool's head, which he found in the casket. But Prince of Aragon also proved himself to be a fool, who without understanding took the step of choosing the wrong casket. Students, here blinking idiot symbolizes a clown who is laughing at Prince of Aragon because he made the wrong choice. Let's read further. He then thinks that it was wrong on his part to have come to Belmont and try his luck by the caskets. Then he made a fool of himself by choosing a wrong casket. So he at once leaves the place. Portia remarks that he has been burnt in the flames like a moth, and that she is glad that he has chosen the wrong casket. Students, here Prince of Aragon shockingly asks if he deserves nothing more than a fool's head on choosing a wrong casket. After choosing the wrong casket, Prince of Aragon departs with the promise that he will keep his oath. Students, here Portia is relieved and she compares the Prince of Aragon to a moth. What do we mean by moth? A foolish insect that has fluttered around a bright light and has been burnt. Let's read further. Nerissa remarks that death and marriage depend on destiny. At that moment, a servant arrives to inform that a messenger has come with greetings and presents. Portia tells Nerissa that she is eager to meet the suitor because he appears to possess decent manners. Nerissa wishes that this suitor may turn out to be Lord Bassanio. Student, write down the meanings first. Destiny means fate. Decent means conforming with generally accepted standards of respectable or moral behavior. Turnout means prove to be the case. Students, here, a servant comes and informs Portia that a young Venetian has come. Now students, who is the young Venetian over here? The young Venetian over here is Gratiano. Students, here, Portia tells Nerissa that she wants to meet this young Venetian as she is very much impressed by his decent manners. Nerissa also wishes that the suitor may be Lord Bassanio. Let's read critical commentary. We are again taken to Portia's house in Belmont. The Prince of Aragon makes a choice of the casket. Like the Prince of Morocco, he too does not attach any importance to the leaden casket. He then examines the golden casket and rejects it too. He selects a silver casket and therein he finds a portrait of a blinking idiot. So he fails to choose the right casket. So Morocco and Aragon leave the place. It appears that Shakespeare clears the pitch for Bassanio, who will soon try his luck. Student, write down the meanings. Clears the pitch means clears the way. Student, this scene shifts back from Venice to Belmont. Prince of Aragon tries his luck in the lottery of the caskets. Here we come to know that Prince of Aragon makes the same error of judgment as the Prince of Morocco. He does not give any importance to the leaden casket. He rejects the golden casket because he does not want to rank himself with the common people. He chooses the silver casket because the inscription on the silver casket appeals to him. But instead of Portia's portrait, he finds picture of a blinking idiot with wobbling eyes presenting a scroll. Children, now we know that Bassanio has arrived and the two suitors have left. So Shakespeare has cleared the way for Bassanio to make the choice for the caskets. Let's read character portrayal of Prince of Aragon. The Prince of Aragon represents arrogance. He is proud of his nobility. He has a low opinion of others. He has a very high opinion of himself. He does not want to choose what many men desire. He rejects a gold casket. He thinks that he is the most deserving suitor, so he chooses the silver casket. When he opens it, he finds in it the portrait of a blinking idiot, presenting him a scroll. In this scroll, it is written that those who do not think carefully before taking a step in any matter are fooled in life. Students, as Prince of Aragon represents pride. He has high self-esteem because of his nobility. He is not as snobbish as Morocco, yet he scorns others, having a low opinion of them. Aragon does not make Morocco's obvious choice of the most sparkling gold casket because, as his name suggests, he has a very high opinion of himself. He does not want to choose, like many men who choose merely by appearance. Aragon is attracted by the inscription on the silver casket. He thinks himself to be the most deserving. He feels that there are many who succeed without having any inner merit. Prince of Aragon is proud. He has absolutely no doubt about what he deserves because of its inherited nobility. He chooses a silver casket and is shown to deserve only a fool's head. This scene has no evidence to show that Aragon loves Portia. Now let's read the character portrayal of Portia. Portia is glad
that Aragon has chosen the wrong casket.
Now students, Portia is relieved
that Prince of Aragon has chosen the wrong casket.
Because Portia is not having any feelings for him. She is pleased that even fools choose deliberately, thinking themselves to be clever. Let's read character portrayal of Nerissa. Nerissa remarks that death and marriage depend on destiny. Students, destiny means fate. Students, here Nerissa remarks that death and marriage depend on destiny. She believed in God. She thinks that marriages are made in heaven and everything in the world is arranged by God. Students, I hope you've understood the workbook reading of Act 2, Scene 9. Your homework for today is to do the homework given in your SNAP homework. Thank you so much, students.